Let's try this again. There she blows, there she blows. The Mobius Dick has come to town. 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts to be expected in New Zealand within the next 7 hours. Yeah, let's get this in some kind of a some you guys are more used to. 160 kilometers an hour is 100 miles an hour. Yes, here we go. I apologize for the net sharing on my screen a moment ago. I'll do better of a job of verifying this now. To my traditional kind of an introduction. We'll start right now. Good morning, folks. It's almost 9/11 on the 10th month, 22nd day, 2025. And I'm gonna verify that I'm actually live. Holy fucking mercy, I am. And well, put your headphones in. I guess the Tourette's is already showing up because I just did a bunch of minutes that didn't do as expected. Double check that, double check that, double check this. Boy, is this geostorm gonna get nasty here, man. Don't be caught out on these roads. You do have a few hours to get your supplies down in this area and use them well. Use them very, very well because the wind's going to be blowing something fierce. Blowing a holy. Yeah, but it looks like most of if it's pin the flow to this side of where I'm moving the hand, the glory. The glory. Not to be mistaken for the glory hall. Boy, it's going to be a clencher of a storm. Sphincter factor 10 for a few of you. Well, the main Dalton looks like it's coming through the Hammer Springs area, where I'm expecting to see the most severe gusts of all and the heaviest winds through this valley. So batten down the hatches over there, boy. You're going to get an overhaul. There's a lot of farmland here. So I ain't concerned about some of these tin roofs flying about. That'll be irrigation farming. It's not anything nefarious. You always want them to be nefarious. Not me. I love Mother Nature. There's some beautiful mountain areas, but boy, over this next few days, that beauty's going to be measured differently. Yeah, this is belter of a wind lasting for quite a few days. That wind, this isn't going to just roar too fast. So let me get to what's to be expected by you guys. And Melbourne, I'll do it with you in a minute. Right now, New Zealand's got my attention. We've had the big HAARP type signatures appearing in the clouds to the east of New Zealand. Actually, if I do like this, you'll see it. By now, Melbourne should have already gotten wet. They should be in it. Just about through. Whammo. Boy, that's a smack. You could see the fog that was coming up from Antarctica. It just past Dunedin. Probably about 4 a.m. my time. See, the winds just don't go through corks. It just hits an EMF line. And I'll do a job of trying to explain how that was done. Because when the pressure's like this, natural flow says it should go straight over the island like this. But it's not. Because a path of resistance has been installed by some kind of vessel in the ocean over here. And that I'm going to show you evidence of why do I say that. I see a HAARP signature in the clouds. That's right. Right, I've took you through Friday. Pretty much that's about blown out to sea, but the boys are bringing a pocket of cold air. You know, and I seen something like this frying up your skies. Like the wing of the angel of death itself. And I see Hitler's mustache in the sky, which is really overlapping squares here and here. Yeah, it's a lot of beaming went on from this one spot over here. But that's a HAARP type signature. It's not like the normal beam signatures like this down here. It's V. It's like radar. I see the differences all the time. And when I went looking around, of course, I come up with this article here about a countermeasures barge, as they're calling it. And there's a very interesting look to this. And if you could put up with the commercials, with some pretty high resolution images here for your enjoyment. How you doing, friend? Hope everything's well. There we go. Look at the devices on this. I'm going to go over them again. That's an X-ray. That's an X-ray radar. That's like rockets, either to defend itself or sounding rockets to deploy chemical catalysts into the atmosphere. Right. I've got a lot of images of these actually. Might be better for me to pull up. Now, I hate to say it, but are they using an X-ray emitter? You ever see that movie X with the monkeys in it? And this thing comes up with a ball on it. Because I picked up an X-ray emission today. I should not normally see on this planet when the sun doesn't kick off. And so I'm very curious about that particular device. I don't think that's just geolocation, because this thing here could geolocate itself. Yeah, and some of the images I had on here were really good ones actually. You see people on deck, and this one here, triangular horns, square-shaped horns for controlling various drones and whatever they happen to be using. And this is Chinese, this particular one, right? Similar to detour barges and this and that, but they put stuff out. But that's like a HAARP net. It's like a big HAARP this array out here. This one can do quite a lot. It had laser mounts on it, defense on it. It had, where was the shot of the depth charges? You can see this here, there's rockets. And whether those are sounding rockets for chemicals or whether it's for defense is something we have to trust to do. And so as you go through this, you're going to find lots of stuff, lots of goodies. Where the chemburns come from on that deck, you ask. And so we all deserve an honest answer, but I have a suspicion in that this is the device has been deployed and off of your coast. Okay, so I got you a link to that, and then the search I used to pick it up with is this one. Well, there's lots of info on this type of electromagnetic warfare vessels and countermeasures for running drones and making you think the ship is here when it's there, countermeasures, electronic countermeasures. And these here are depth charges. Well, that's what they look like. Okay, so this is a warship. This is not just a barge, and it'd be like a big set of binoculars or something people look through. Yes, you can't hide your spying ass. Look at that on the front. Is it one of the lasers? Is they using doing the do? Hey, so this is a known vessel. It's been around for a little while. Looks like it's got a number on it. The Type 726 series defensive launcher is on one of these. It has a defensive launcher, but you can put sounding rockets in there. That's 100% you can. Right, so let's get to your forecasting part because that's of the most interest. But boy, did you EMF fuel you're not so nice a day to day. From here, from a big device that's located right about here in the desert. Right, it set the flow here. It did a lot of shoving of stuff towards and through Adelaide really suddenly. So that's what's really moved your storm right along. Moved you right along, and you come over here off the coast of the old Zealand here. Look at that fried Andy coming from right here, right here. And that ship is located about here, where these centers of these flashes are. And you can still see a signature of its operation on the last frame. Let's see if we can mark it. Pull that frame up. The fryer is on and the frying is now. Wonder what they're cooking. They're cooking up cooked straight. Why do we do this, I'm often asked? Because we let them. That is why. Right here. See this here? It's right in the center of it. It beamed up. That would be the next thread on the vessel. You get two scalar squares. They're kind of cocked like that. Another vessel here. See? He's controlling his flow, man. Boy, did they put a lot of interference pattern in this one area here. Your earthquake risk is extremely high in that area. That big flasher went off there. See that Auckland radar? See it? You'll learn to read these guys. But boy, is that going to make it hot. Anytime I see that signature, I know it's going to get hot. Absolutely does. And then shove the big batch out to sea and they ran a beam off your coast. Going to slow that down just slightly to separate this batch of moisture from the main flow. And that's what's going to be the clobber of the biggest winds that you're going to see in the overnight hours tonight. And that thing is coming across with some steam. It is not going to be a slow moving event from over there. This is some of the infrared. It shows me the cloud temperature, so I get a general idea of how high in altitude things are. And sometimes when new things are deployed super high up, I see them immediately. Sometimes it warms up. You suddenly see a blue where it was red. You know something warm was deployed or whatever catalyst just occurred with the chemicals. All that flow is right in that side. And that's why you're going to have so much fun in the upper and lower hut. And why all the winds is pinned over here. And poor Kai Kara, Huff and Puff has already showed up. I hear you had some fires over there. It's terrible to hear about. Not like to thoughts go out to the people affected by those. You be dreaming you get a radar image from this country. That was really like even third world country got better. I get better images of Pappy. So this according to your radar in New Zealand, you have nothing going on at all. Nothing at all. At least they showed they got something going on. Marvin. It's not very clear, is it? Yeah, it will be in a moment if I do that. Because I was at the old Zealand. Gee, something's pointing at a radar station over there. Or is that a ship at sea? Yeah, it's kind of a beam flow you don't expect to see in the oceans. Actually, that's converting here like that. Let's have a look. Somebody's beaming here. Look. Bzz, the fryer is on. That's where I was expecting that trend to be. So to see that other signature is a bit odd. Right up here, fanning. Let's see where the fanny is coming from. Who's fannying about with the weather? The fanny about. It's this island somewhere over here. Right over there. That's where that's coming from. It's firmly in its grasp. Yeah. Very not good. Very not good. Not good at all. The fryer is on. Boy, here comes some more naked truth for you guys. Did you see this emotion? This big blaster bastard over here? And that was the latest image. So I'm going into the past a bit. We're going to zoom right on down here. Let's see. I stuck that song in my head again. Let's see. It was about midnight my time. Let's see if we can get this up. I'm sorry, I can't resist. Oh, get out. You're gonna make me do it, ain't you? So I've already recorded this somewhere else. Where did it go? Where did it go? Yeah, I did a video and it accidentally clicked off of show your screen. Or it was on the wrong day. But no. Yeah, we should see the fryers on big time. Look at the solidity line here. That's aimed towards that direction. Look at the camera off the coast. This was at 420. Was everybody taking a talk of what was going on with that? Put the cam here. I really should just roll the forecast part because my screen isn't cooperating like I'd like to, and I'd have to pull up my Facebook to show the video I did this morning of the beam. You see it pretty good over on this right here. The big mustachio. It was not a gravity wave. We didn't have any. Space weather says no to that excuse because I looked. Cascading chembombs. How many different layers of the atmosphere are streaming off here? At least 5. So it takes coordination to do. Or people that are conspiring. A conspiracy, perhaps, is the cover-up of this. And boy, have they definitely set the full. Look at the chem bombs here, folks. Look at that. Would you look at the gilt? Boom, boom, boom with the plumes. And Huff and Puff has come to town. The old HR. There's one of the faces of your ancestors right off the coast looking you in the eye saying, we're going to get this to stop. And the ancestor has shown up. It's never good. Oh, it's Halloween, man. What do you expect? Boom, boom, plumes, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See the percussion ring that he blowed out? The cloud condensates are different. Yeah, because it stole their moisture. It was like the brass knuckles and nucleus in the sky. Nucleating brass knuckle, look. Yeah? Toxic gas man. Toxic gas man. I'm a little like Moloch. And we're going to use our imaginarium a little bit to see it. These are like somebody angry, like the Martian with the bug eyes looking at your ass and gray mouth. It's the magic illusion, the magic confusion. I'd like to find that image new. It's bothering me, you know. Something's bothering me. When I can't find what I'm looking for, I don't give up. Here we go. There's there. That's where it happened. But the color, the ice of that. Tell me those rockets are not being used to put chemicals in the sky. And I'm going to say, well, look at this image. I beg to differ. There she is. The mustachio. It's a hilarious sky. See the fryers on? That's a HAARP signature. That's HAARP signature all day, line. So you have some vessels operating in international waters affecting the weather of New Zealand. With people that can buy your land up, that have that possibility. People causing no harm can benefit off it. More scalar here, here. The ship is exactly here. See how the lines of EMF are meeting and the ones that go in the distance? Beaming right at you. It's putting an energized area here. It's causing flow. This big scalar here. Look at this. You wonder it's getting pinned to the South Island. It's so obvious. So obvious. Let me show you what's shut. That's shut. That's shut. And its secondary pulses come through here. That's a weak flow. Weak flow. So you still get stuff coming through. It hasn't solidified enough in the atmosphere. And if we go down here, we get it a little more. A little more. A little more. Ah, that's it. Toilet seat. This guy looks like somebody didn't fucking lift the toilet seat. Each one of those lines of this pulse, it gets weaker. Okay? It's flow. This is coming up here. In here. Right? It's hitting this line. It's tending to divert. This is hitting this line. It comes in. This hits this line, comes straight in, and boy does it have a corridor of flow to hit. See, yes, the pass gets it the worst because the EMF on this side here, right, and the line of this solidity here is carrying different electrics, but that's a duct all the way to C. So whatever is forced to enter here gets squeezed. It's getting squeezed. But when you squeeze and constrict an opening, with a fluid, and here's another line here from a radar station right about here. Everything is constricted. It's going to increase the winds, and then when you get in the passes, the actual mountains themselves, their shapes will do it. That is a big vessel right here off the coast of New Zealand. I'm helping to control their weather. Look at all the cab. It's something like a ship or something's over here because it's like they've been landing and taking off, and all this chemicals here falling out. No matter what jet plane goes underneath that jet engine will condensate a persistent contrail. One that lasts far too long and doesn't dissipate like it should. Because, you know, when they can make the particles that go in the sky, like some of the documents I'm going to go over the next few days for you guys, they're brushstrokes of shit. Look at this. This is Skyarea. Yep. Skyarea Harbor. You got Skyarea. Yeah, big sky sharks and boom, 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 big sky shark, boom, 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 big sky shark. Oh, you think he was the only one in town getting crap today? Oh my His worldview might be very enlightening on this one. Where was the lightning coming from? Look at the straight line of haze here. That's beam sweat. It came from right here. It went down that way and it went down that way because I watched it happen. See the V? You got two stations here, don't you? You know. You're gonna know. Total whiteout here. You didn't see the sky there because, but they didn't disguise the geoengineer. And the wind's blowing this way. Why is that beaming that way? Now that's not a natural effect when the wind is blowing, the current direction is blowing in. So that's geoengineering. Did that with EMF. There's definitely the signatures of that. And we've seen the sky area here. Oh my gosh. So let's roll the what actually should happen. I think they usually on the last day one of them gets it right. So let me see if I agree with them. Let's run this. It's not acting like normal pressure. When you close the flow, it cooks. Really, this should, with pressures like this, it should be free flow over the island, but it's not because electromagnetic perturbations of viscous fluids, which is what a cloud becomes, and viscosity is difference of thicknesses through temperature or condition. Here she comes. Boy, is that a fucking heavy batch of rain. That'll be a gully washer coming down those hills. Expect slips, especially with these winds, to be very fast occurring. A little warning. Your road come down behind and in front of you like nothing. You don't have to film everything in life, and while this coming through the very overnight hours is almost a blessing, because people won't tend to be on the roads. As that thing hits the EMF line, it just skates north and out to sea. But that flow right there is affected big time by those beams. Yeah, that away she went. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Charlie. Wait a couple days, there's going to be more. I have to show this particular day to you guys. Yeah, this geoengineered madness has got to stop. Yeah, I moved over here for a reason. Hi, you ready for a weekend forecast, Adelaide? No, you ain't. Then they split this in two. So I'm really interested to see what beans they fry your guys at with this. I hear you that schnitz is the dish, but come on, this schnitz, come on. One schnitzel cloud. What a bunch of wieners. We schnitzel. Use your nose. Oh, I was worried about this. That dust that you're seeing up here is make it come take a visit. It is warm. It is staticky. And when it hits that massive cold Antarctic air, it's going to kick off. It's going to come up and around this side is where the cold air is going to come from. So when the load gets a little bit more, that warm air that's been whipping down is going to go the fuck away. Yep. Don't feel that thing right over, and guess who gets it again? Hi. Welcome to your week forecast, New Zealand. You're fucked again. There's going to be some fair heavy totals coming with this bitch. Yep. Only it's about 30 hours. And then she fucks off in about the same time he zims along over here towards the east coast of Australia. They got another geostorm planned for you guys. Boy, that's going to take a lot of chem to do. Oh, wait a minute. There's a lot of fires, and fire smoke is free particulates. Of the same chemicals you sprayed on it into the wood to begin with. So it's not the healthiest stuff to be breathing. You know, those fire exhaumants, nanometallics. Nanometallics. Yeah, it's big kickoffs that there. Boy, that's going to keep me busy. And you won't have me this day. Oh no, this day here. This Sunday I'm busy. And working the rugby. Boom. Oh yeah, I was worried about this. I'm worried about a day for your poon coming near the end of the month. With the hits out there, it's going to be some very heavy totals. Yeah, so the flows up into the tropics are finally going to add some relief to the gardens. That's one positive, but the negative is the toxicity of rain is going to be terrible. This is going to lead to some big totals after this area, 7-8 centimeters, quite easy. As the batches come over to seeing the heaviness of the cells dropping 3 or 4 centimeters in an afternoon is very possible. Let's see, you will start about here. Choose We've all got to choose not to block the sunlight because we're just doo-doo if we think that. We're doo-doo if we think geoengineering is good. And I know these people think some geoengineering is doo-doo when over a half a meter of precipitation is scheduled for Earth's pass, and we look at the skies and we see the gas absolutely being passed over these folks, and then we see the beams swelling the streams and killing the dreams, and we see that some people have been thinking it's a good idea to fund things that can do this and make HAARP signatures in our clouds. And I think it's very wrong that people try to play God instead of trying to be godly and do cool things with your goodness. Right? And as the sun goes down, they're still blocking sunlight or moonlight or your light. They'll never dim, will they? Boy, that stuff's falling out on you tonight. Yeah, this EMF is getting in your body, and it's not healthy for oxygen uptake. And these chemicals of an undisclosed nature being deployed over your head is nothing short of a chemical attack. How you feel about that? If you think it's a conspiracy and that I'm wrong, well, just say I was right. Would you want this to happen? Would you want to see curtains of chem descending across the planet? Do you want to see these big blasts interrupting your sleep? Or the passive animals migrating up and down your coast? Do you want this? I don't. Somebody's paying for this stuff. Somebody thinks it's a good idea to make it. And that person is not me. And it is not you. So why do we get the debt of this? Why do we carry the brunt of this cost of this? Or do we, being selfish, to even think that we have a cost involved when we're costing life so much harm? Acid rain will dissolve these reefs. Don't let them blame a cow farting for the farts coming out of a politician's mouth that's owned by a corporation because of their misdeeds. Hashtag expose them all. And this is you today, Crafts Harbor. The Hopi Indians once said in the end days, we will see the great feathers in the sky and the rainbow warriors will rise up. Why are you going to wait for the 5th of November to expose the gunpowder treason and plot that is going on above your head right now? Big love. Stay safe. Peace.